A lone officer looked down at the bare, gray metallic table, lit only by a single light bulb in an otherwise dark, solitary room. He threw down a manila envelope full of reports in front of him. A silence filled the room. The officer stared at the madman, strapped to a steel chair, which contained him. The man stared at the officer, maintaining eye contact, unblinking. "Do you know why you're here, Lieutenant?" the officer asked. The madman did not respond. The officer waited before stepping into the light, asking him again. "Lieutenant, do you know why you are here?" "Should I?" the man snubbed. The officer sighed, opening the envelope he brought in, and pulled out a single sheet of paper. 10 counts of war crimes against Sigma civilians. 8 counts of cannibalism. It is reported that when you got full, you... The officer paused, repulsed at what he read aloud. Turned the remaining corpses into human leather couches, chairs, and clothes. The disgraced lieutenant retorted, "That's incorrect. Are you contesting official state investigations and your sergeant's own witness accounts?" the officer demanded. "Yes." "What makes it inaccurate, son?" the officer asked, hesitantly. "I killed 12 of them, not 10. Maybe your investigators should look again. I'm sure they can find the others." The officer paused, noting the correction. "Lieutenant 4th grade Abu Fang Tasca. I don't think it needs to be stated that these are not the values we allow in our military. It may be customary in your tribe." "It's not," Abu interrupted. "Right, it's not. You are facing 500 lashes and full consciousness organ retrieval," the officer reminded him. "Maybe they'll find the rest of the bodies in my stomach," Abu responded insolently. The officer leaned across the table, looking reproachfully at the monster before him. "That's being pardoned," the officer stated, catching Lieutenant Abu off guard and breaking his robotic demeanor. He was disconcerted. "Why?" Abu demanded warily. "I'd put you down myself in this room if I could. The shame you brought on the uniform. The irreparable damage you did, killing negotiations that would have put an end to this war. Now, thousands of your fellow Gigachads are dying every day because of what you did. But..." The officer sneered at Abu, hatred burning in his eyes. Abu gazed back unflinchingly. "You owe us your body. The military isn't done with you yet. Death is something you welcome. I won't grant you that pleasure," the officer promised. The lieutenant remained unfazed. "The war is not going well, Lieutenant. Our forces are low on manpower, and until the Chad Council finishes its conscription enforcement, we have to find alternative solutions. We need every man, including you." Abu smiled smugly. "But you'll suffer before you see sunlight again. I'll make sure of that." The officer reveled as Abu's smile faded. "There's an aquatic compound 15 kilomiles from here. You'll be accompanying me, and they'll re-educate you." The officer pulled out another paper from his folder, cleared his throat, and spoke methodically. 80 hours of waterboarding, 130 hours of suffocation acclimation, 30 hours of unrestricted electrotherapy, and 600 hours of visual, audio, and oral indoctrination. You'll receive 30 minutes of sleep every 48 hours, given just enough rice and water to avoid organ failure, and given a modified flacco to induce daily overdoses to destabilize mental resistance. "And then what?" Abu responded, entertained. "If you conform, you'll be assigned to a new battalion under my command and placed under Captain Joe's formation, Echo Company, 79th Platoon," the officer explained. "Won't they know what pleasures I've done to this world?" Abu sarcastically replied. "No one knows what you did. Your file was classified the moment the first reports came in. If you died right now, nobody would know you even existed on this Rimworld," the officer revealed. Abu began to breathe heavily, and his face contorted in anger, hatred, and a desire for violence. "I like that, the fight in you. That's what you owe us. Don't worry," the officer retorted. He grabbed his file and prepared to leave. "I'll break you and program you into a scared, submissive soldier. A servant to the state once again, the officer smiled. Fuck you. I'll make sure you all remember me, Abu yelled. He was clawing at the arms of his chair. How cute. I'll be seeing you soon. The officer replied with satisfaction. He was heading towards the door and raised an ID card to a scanner. The scanner beeped approval, and the door seal unlocked. This filth dared to destroy my legacy? I'll have his head for this, Abu thought. The unknown officer stepped into a bright hallway, and the door began to close. Abu saw on the back of the officer's vest a patch. The patch read, General J. Mong, 3rd Gigachad Tactical Battalion, Division of the United Al-Tingward Tribes.